savage people, and they are after me. They have learned how to use their arm, and they're gonna use it against me, for things I may or may not have done. One of them even has a gun. My god, they're gonna get me. Wait. I have to fend for myself. But how? Yes, an object of self-defense. I shall use it. If only I knew how to. Hello, and welcome back. Now we can wiggle our arm, but we still cannot grab stuff, and this is a problem. So in this tutorial we are going to learn how... Okay, the first thing we are going to create is a blueprint class, and we select type actor. This will be the object that we are going to grab. So I give it the name of bp_grabObject, and then we can open it. Now, you may want to grab all sorts of kinky stuff. I don't know what you're going to grab, but depending on what you're gonna grab, you will add different components inside this blueprint. In this case, I'm going to start very simple with just a basic cube. So I add a static mesh component on the component list. Well, we could also do a skeletal mesh and try some crazy stuff, but I think for the beginning we will do fine with just a static mesh. So let's click it, and in here in the list search for the cube. Once you have it and you're happy with your static mesh, you can hit click and save and compile, and then we are gonna fix some settings. So first let's check simulate physics and type physics actor, that's fine. Now maybe you want to define where the player can grab onto and where not. So in here I add a scene location, and this will be the point that we're gonna use later on to specify the grab. But right now this won't be important in this part. You can add it if you want. If it doesn't matter for you which part of the object will be grabbed, then you can also skip this step. But I'm setting it up so it will be right here on this edge. Maybe the player should be able to see this point. So I'm gonna click on the scene and add another cube in here. And this will be just a visual indicator. Let's scale it down to 0.1 and reset the location. And here is our visual indicator. We could also replace this by a UI element, or maybe your static mesh has something like a handle. But for the moment this is fine. The only thing that's left to do is to deactivate the collision, otherwise it would collide with the big cube. For the moment we're finished with the grab object, so let's try and place it in the level. We'll just get over here and maybe place it in here. Put it in the sky to see if it falls, and voila! We can almost already grab it. Next is the third-person character blueprint. So open it up, and the way we are going to set this up is that we will add a sphere around the hand of the character, and this way we can detect if we overlap something that is grabbable and also get a reference to this object. And to realize this, we are going to select the mesh component and add a sphere collision component to this object. And here on the right hand side, under the parent socket, we select the hand R. So you can type it and the sphere will snap right onto the bone. Just like this. And we can maybe also move it a little bit, like this. Great! Now next we are going to add a physics handle component, so search for that. And this will allow us to grab stuff. Now all our components are set up and we can start scripting. So we can move over to the event graph, and the first thing we're going to do here is create a new variable. And type boolean is fine, I call it isGrabbing. Then we can make a second variable right after, and we change the object type to the blueprint we created in the beginning. So in my case I called it grabObject. And I call this variable current pickup. This variable will keep track of which object we're grabbing at the moment. Alright, next we are going to need a reference to our physics handle. So you can grab it from the component list and just drag it onto here. And from this node you'll find the grab component at location function. So click it and here we are. Next, let me create an event which will be called whenever we grab something. So create a custom event and call it something like grab and hook it up like this. Okay, our grab component at location node needs some inputs. Namely, it needs something that will be grabbed. So we can take our variable we created and from here we will get the static mesh component. And this we can feed into the input of the node. So search for get static mesh. You can press Q if you want to make this line straight, and now we can hook it up. Also, we need a location, and for this we are going to use the world location of our touch sphere. But our variable current pickup will return empty because we never actually set it. So we need to do this somehow, and we do this by using our touch sphere. So you can click on it on the list, and on here scroll all the way down. And you will find the onComponent begin overlap event. Here we take the other actor pin and we are going to cast to our grab object blueprint to see if what we're overlapping is a grab object. And if it is, we are going to set our variable current pickup to be this object. Now keep in mind, this is a very simple solution, and if you want to grab many things, you may want to use interfaces. I'd love to make a tutorial about that if I can in the future. But for now, we are going to get our event tick because our physics handle needs to be updated. So if you have it, press B on the keyboard and click so you can quickly make a branch. And here we will use our isGrabbing boolean from the beginning. Also, we need to set this so at a grab event in the end you can hook it up like this and set it to be true. Next, we are gonna get our physics handle from the component list. And in here we will find the set target location node. And we will we also need a location, and we can use our touch sphere location from before. And now this is looking pretty good. I will also make some comments here. Okay, so depending on your life choices, you maybe also want to be able to release stuff. So let's create another custom event and call it release grab. And in here all we need is again our physics handle and check the release component. And we also want to set our isGrabbing boolean to be false. And our release event is also finished. So we both have our grab and release events, but they are not being called yet. So the next step would be to create some kind of input where we can call these two. And to do this, we open up our third person folder, and in here you will find input, actions, press right click and create the new input action. I call it IA_grab and open it. In here we are going to create two new array elements, so 1 and 2. The first one will be type pressed and the second one released. Now you can save this, move one folder back and find this one, and in here let's create a new mapping, and now we can select our IA_grab. If you click this guy, you can now press any keyboard key you want to use. I use left shift and I'm done in here. Let's move back to our third person character, and in here we can now access our IA_grabbed events by right click and search for IA_grab, and you'll get this kind of node. Now on triggered we will hook up the grab event like this and unfold this one here, and on completed this will be when we release the key. We can use our release event. Well, the quick and dirty way would be to just use the left shift event from here. This could also work perfectly, but it's not as flexible if we want to change the keyboard button that we are going to press. So let me delete this again and for now use this. And let's test it so we can grab stuff. Woo! And that's it for the first part of this tutorial. I'm very happy to see you as soon as I can upload the next one. Until then, practice your cube flips and have fun. See ya!